taking care of ourselves can be so combative sometimes. I was reading an article most recently in the blackdoctor.org, and it mentioned about Detox Underarms using essential oils, right? And so it talks about the ingredients in deodorant, conventional deodorant that could cause harm. So a couple of things that they mentioned were aluminum, which some studies show it has a connection between cancer and Alzheimer, according to the article. Sometimes deodorant can contain parabens, which disrupts natural hormones, for example. Formaldehyde, which is a known carcinogen that kills germs, but also can kill healthy cells. Phthalates, which are natural hormone disruptors that can create an imbalance in your system. And lastly, the article mentions about propylene glycol, which is otherwise known as antifreeze. Okay, so they're talking about deodorant and what you can do to detox, some of the harmful effects that can occur from using some deodorants, right? So it was interesting that they were talking about essential oils to use as a detox for this underarm remedy, right? And so I said, okay, let's look into this. So I'll leave a link in the description for you to read the article in its entirety. Before I go any further, I am Danny, and welcome to this channel, Natural Ally D. I am a social worker and an aromatherapist, and I try to share things related to enhancing our overall quality of life and well-being. So welcome. So going back to this article, right, in blackdoctor.org. So they offer a remedy to detox your underarms from, the toxic buildup that could occur from deodorant. And they list a recipe, right? And so the recipe says it has apple cider vinegar, rosemary essential oil, cilantro, and bentonite clay. Okay? And then the directions goes on to say you mix the apple cider vinegar in a glass bowl, you add the essential oils, and then I guess it creates a paste-like consistency. And then it further goes on to say you can also use thieves oil or oregano. Stop one moment. Let's take a pause, okay? So I have not, full disclaimer, I have not tried this detox method that they're using for essential oils. I'm using essential oils, but I am familiar with rosemary and cilantro, right? And I have used bentonite clay as a clay you use as a mask on your face, and I have used apple cider vinegar. When this instructions or directions talk about using thieves or oregano oil, well, full disclaimer, I don't know much about thieves oil, so I looked it up and it had some hot oils in thieves oil, right? So thieves oil is, according to my Bing search, it has clove, lemon, cinnamon, eucalyptus, and rosemary. Well, two of these essential oils, clove and cinnamon, are known to be hot, right? As well as the directions that mention about oregano essential oil. And you say, why should I care if they're hot or not? Well, any essential oils that are known to be hot can be very sensitive to the skin. And when you're applying them, if you choose to do so, do your due diligence and research as to if you should use those essential oils. They mention some ingredients, rosemary and cilantro. Again, do your due diligence in using essential oils. But what caught my attention is they were talking about use thieves oil and oregano oil. You can also use these. And I said, okay, they have some hot oils in there. Are we telling our readers to do their due diligence in reading about these essential oils and be mindful that more is not better. By no means. And according to, research and the handy dandy reference guide that I like to use, all three of these oils, they say, are very hot, right? And why are they hot? Because they contain phenols. And you say, what is a phenol? Well, I'll leave a link in the description for a video I did that talked about the 10 constituents of essential oils you need to be aware of, because essential oils have different constituents, and depending on the constituent that it has is what it will do, help to aid the body, and the cautions you should be aware of when using them, because not all essential oils are created the same. I'll also leave a link in the description for my video 5 things to consider before using essential oil. And one of the things, if nothing else, you'll hear me talk about is safety. Safety, safety, safety. So whether it be this recipe that they talk about or any other recipe, I encourage you to do your due diligence to find out what is in this essential oil. Number one, what are the properties of this essential oil? In other words, what is it designed to do? Okay. This recipe is saying is used as a detox. A couple of the essential oils I looked at, yes, it mentions about detoxing, but it also says it has some other safety notes to go along with it that people need to be mindful of, right? And so, for example, clove bud. Always use minimal amounts. Can cause irritation to the skin and mucous membranes. Always use with a carrier oil with each application. It's an effective blood thinner. It should not be used if using thinners such as Coumadin. Do not use when pregnant. Do not use with children under 2 years of age. And it is not a teething oil. So that's like the safety note of just one of them. And that's one of the ingredients in thieves oil. The oregano, okay, one of the things they say you can use as well. So the safety notes, for example, for oregano is use with caution. It's a skin irritant and a strong mucous membrane irritant. Never use on the skin undiluted. Do not use on children under 2 years of age. Do not use on hypersensitive, diseased, or damaged skin. And do not use during pregnancy. Okay? And how many of us have had irritation up under our arms? Like, I've also tried to use natural deodorant, for example. And some deodorants I cannot use, for example, that contain baking soda. So if you're having irritation up under your arm, that might not be a good choice for you to use. And let's see, cinnamon bark, for example, the safety notes are best if applications are done with a carrier oil. Neat or undiluted applications to the body other than the feet are not advised. Let me repeat that. For cinnamon bark oil, neat or undiluted. Undiluted, you might also hear people say, put it on neat. That means without a carrier, just plain essential oil. But the safety note I have says neat, undiluted, applications to areas of the body other than the feet is not advised. Use in moderation, avoid during pregnancy, not recommended for children under 12 unless diluted in a carrier, and not recommended for pets. So those are some of the safety notes for the essential oils that are listed in one of the ingredients they say you could use, and also for the oregano. The cilantro, for example, that's in the original recipe in this, okay? It says there's no specific safety concerns listed for cilantro essential oil when used according to accepted aromatherapeutic application. So, known or specific safety concerns. That's for cilantro. And then there is rosemary. Okay, rosemary safety notes. It's non-toxic, non-irritant, non-sensitizing. It is known to be a stimulant, not for use with high blood pressure. I'll repeat that. Stimulant, not for use with high blood pressure. Use with caution when pregnant. Okay? And you say, why are you telling us about all these safety notes? Well, the safety notes, if nothing else, is what you need to be aware of if you choose to use any essential oils in any form, shape, or fashion that is undiluted. Okay, undiluted, or even with the carrier oil, we need to be mindful of what's in it, meaning the constituents of it. Is it a phenol? Is it a sesquiterpene? Is it a monoterpene? Again, I'll leave a link in this description for the video I did about that, about the constituents of essential oils. What are the properties of it? What are therapeutic properties it's known for? And if at the very least we need to know what are the safety concerns for a particular essential oil, because you could be you could be using an essential oil that is counterproductive to the medication that you're using, right? Or not recommended if you're using a particular type of medication. And so you need to be mindful of that as well, be it prescription drugs or over the counter. Essential oils are just as potent and can be just as potent as your prescription drugs or your over-the-counter medications, right? I mean, how many times have you taken something over-the-counter, or you've seen a commercial, no less, for something prescription or something over-the-counter, and then they go through everything, and at the end of it, it says, oh, and it may be fatal. And you're like, okay, I'm taking my chances here that, you know, that I'm using this particular prescription drug or over-the-counter medication, but that's totally up to you. But you're making an informed decision, right? I mean, I've done it too, taking, you know, something over-the-counter for allergies at one time before I was informed. Come to find out it causes adverse effects like dizziness. Talk to my doctor about it. Oh yeah, it does do that. I'm like, oh goodness. But anyway, but what I'm trying to say is, when using essential oils, please do your due diligence when using in any recipe. Find out the basics of it. You know, what's in it, what are the therapeutic properties, and what are the safety notes, general safety notes that are known for that particular essential oil. It could do you a world of good in the long run, because at least you know what you're using and why. Okay, so I just wanted to share that with you as a tidbit. I'm always talking about safety. You can never hear me say that enough. Well, I will say it enough so that you understand the significance of honestly being safe with essential oils. So if this information was useful, let me know in the comments. If there's any additional information you would like to know, please feel free to leave that in the comments as well. My contact information is also in the description at the bottom if you just want to reach out and find out more information, or I can direct you in a point you in a direction that would be beneficial and most helpful that I am aware of. And as always, it's my pleasure to serve you, and I thank you for watching, and God bless you. I love you. Until next time, bye bye now.